We are discussing our third chapter, Calculus of Vector Fields. In this chapter, we introduced the notion of differentiability of a vector field as a linear transformation. We know a linear transformation can be represented by means of a matrix provided the basis of the domain space and codomain space are fixed along with their orders. The matrix corresponding to this linear transformation is known as Jacobians. We are going to discuss it here. We start this module discussing some basic results from linear algebra. They are very useful in connection with total derivatives of differentiable vector fields from Rn to Rm. The reason is that derivatives are nothing but linear transformations from Rn to Rm. Let U and V be two finite dimensional real linear spaces of dimensions n and m respectively. Let E1, E2 up to En and capitals E1, E2 up to Em be two frames of U and V respectively. We repeat that by frame we mean ordered basis. Also let T from U to V be a linear transformation. Now, TE1, TE2 up to TEn all are members of V, and as a result they can be uniquely expressed as a linear combination of capital E1, E2 up to Em. Let TEI equal to a I1 E1 plus a I2 E2 summation up to a IM EM. Clearly, all these Aij's are unique real numbers. In each Aij, the first index I indicates that it appears in the expansion of TEI. The second index j indicates that it is the scalar associated to the basis vector capital Ej. Now we list down all the Aij's in an m by n rectangular array, where along the ith column we list down the coefficients of E1, E2 up to Em in TEI, and we have to maintain this particular order. This matrix is called the matrix representation of T with respect to the given frames. We shall denote matrix T equal to Aij m by n equal to the matrix as shown here. We notice here the first column is A11, A12 up to A1m, and the first row is A11, A21, An1. Now it is natural to inquire whether there exists a linear transformation T from U to V whose matrix representation with respect to the given frames is this particular matrix A equal to Aij m by n. We can easily find that if we define TEI equal to a I1 E1 plus a I2 E2 up to a IM EM, and for each I from 1 to n and extend it linearly to U, then A is the matrix representation of T. Here we used the result that a linear transformation can be completely determined by knowing its action on a basis. Thus, we find that there is a 1-1 correspondence between the collection of all linear transformations T from U to V and the collection of all m by n real matrices A, provided the frames of U and V remain fixed. We mention here a result which one can easily check. Let U, V, W be three finite dimensional real vector spaces whose dimensions are n, m, p respectively. We select three frames U1, U2, Un, V1, V2 up to Vm and W1, W2 up to Wp of the linear spaces U, V, W respectively. Let S be a linear transformation from U to V and T be another linear transformation from V to W. And Their matrix representations with respect to these two frames are A and B respectively. Then T composition S from U to W is also a linear transformation. Moreover, its matrix representation with respect to these frames is BA. Now we are going to introduce the Jacobian matrix. The total derivative of a differentiable vector field at a point of its domain is nothing but a linear transformation. We have already seen that a linear transformation can be represented by means of a matrix. So, we can express this total derivative by a matrix. Let A be a subset of Rn. A is an interior point of the set A, and F from A to Rm is a vector field which is differentiable at the point A. Also, let the total derivative be T, that is dFA, which we denote by F dash A. We shall find the matrix representation of the linear transformation F dash A, that is T from Rn to Rm. To do so, let us assume that U1, U2 up to En and U1, U2 up to Um be the standard ordered bases for Rn and Rm respectively. Then we can write TEI equal to F dash A EI equal to DIFA for each I from 1 to n. Now let F1, F2 up to Fm be the component functions of the vector field F. Then all F1, F2, Fm are scalar fields defined on the set A. Then for each I from 1 to n we have DIFA, that is Di operating on the M tuple F1, F2 up to Fm evaluated at the point A, that is Di F1A, Di F2A, Di Fma. We can express it as summation Di Fja Uj, where j runs over from 1 to m. That is TEI equal to summation Di Fja Uj, where the range of j is from 1 to m. Therefore, the matrix representation of T with respect to the standard ordered basis is denoted and given as follows. The notation is matrix T. Sometimes we write it as simply as DFA or matrix F dash A. This is the matrix whose elements are Di Fja and the matrix is of size m by n. If we go through the rows, the first row is D1 F1A, D2 F1A up to Dn F1A. The second row D1 F2A, D2 F2A up to Dn F2A. The last, that is mth row D1 Fma, D2 Fma, Dn Fma. That means the first row is nothing but gradient F1A, second row grad F2A and so on. This matrix is called the Jacobian matrix of the vector field F at the point A. It is also denoted by symbols like as shown here del F1 F2 Fm by del x1 x2 xn or j F1 F2 Fm by x1 x2 xn. Here j stands for Jacobian. One remark here, the Jacobian matrix DFA of the vector field F at the point A is defined at each point in the set capital A where all the mn partial derivatives di fja exist. Here the range of I is from 1 to m, n and the range of j is from 1 to m. Sometimes the Jacobian matrix is denoted by F dash A. We also note that for each j from 1 to m, the jth row of the Jacobian matrix DFA of the vector field F at the point A is a vector in Rm, and it is nothing but the gradient vector of the jth component function Fj and is denoted by grad Fj or nabla Fj. Thus, for each j from 1 to up to m, we have grad Fja equal to the n vector d1 fja, d2 fja up to dn fja when expressed as a row vector. If we consider the particular case when f is a scalar field, that is, in the above we put m equal to 1, then the Jacobian matrix dfa of f at the point A consists of only one row, and obviously it is grad fa, that is, in this case dfa equal to grad fa, that is d1 fa, d2 fa up to dn fa, which is the n vector. Thus, for a vector field f we can express matrix representation of f dash a equal to, expressed as a column vector, grad f1a, grad f2a up to grad fma. We have to take care that here every element is a row vector, or matrix representation of f dash a equal to d1 fa transpose, d2 fa transpose up to dn fa transpose. One observation here. Let V be any vector in Rn and its components be v1, v2 up to vn. Then we have Tv, that is dfav. In other notation it is f dash av. So, whenever we write down this as product of matrices, it is the product of matrices di fj, which is of size m by n, post multiplied by vi, which is of size n by 1. So, we have written down the matrices here, and after multiplication we find the first row as summation I equal to 1 to n di f1a vi, the second row summation I equal to 1 to n di f2a vi, continuing the final one summation I equal to 1 to n di fma vi. That is, every row consists of only one element. So, it is a matrix of size m by 1. In vector notation, this is represented as follows: summation j equal to 1 to m of summation I equal to 1 to n di fj vi uj. To make it more clear, we cite an example here. Let f from R2 to R3 be a vector field defined as follows: fxy equal to sin x cos y, sin x sin y, cos x cos y for each xy in R2. So, if we want to express f by means of components, then f1, f2, f3 are three scalar fields defined on R2, where f1 xy is sin x cos y, f2 xy is sin x sin y, f3 xy is cos x cos y. Each of them are differentiable. Evidently, f is also differentiable at each point of R2. Thus, the Jacobian matrix dfxy of the vector field f at an arbitrary point xy of R2 exists and is given by the following: dfxy is equal to row wise del del x sin x cos y, del del y sin x cos y, second row del del x sin x sin y, del del y sin x sin y, third row del del x cos x cos y, del del y cos x cos y. So, we have the 3 by 2 matrix as follows: first row cos x cos y minus sin x sin y, second row cos x sin y, sin x cos y, third row minus sin x cos y minus cos x sin y. In particular, if we consider the origin, then we have df 0 0 equal to the matrix 1 0 0 0 0 0 size 3 by 2. We consider another example. We consider a vector field f from R2 to R2 defined as follows: fxy equal to e to the power x cos y, e to the power x sin y for every xy in R2. So, the scalar fields f1, f2 are given by f1 xy equal to exponential x cos y and f2 xy equal to exponential x sin y. Evidently, f is differentiable at each point of R2. The Jacobian matrix dfxy of the vector field f at any point xy exists and is given by the following: dfxy equal to 2 by 2 matrix whose first row is del del x e to the power x cos y, del del y e to the power x cos y. Second row del del x e to the power x sin y, del del y e to the power x sin y. So, we have the 2 by 2 matrix e to the power x cos y minus e to the power x sin y, e to the power x sin y, e to the power x cos y. In particular, we have df at origin equal to the identity matrix of order 2. Now, we are going to discuss the Jacobian matrix of the sum of two vector fields. Let A be a subset of Rn. F and G are two vector fields defined on the set A, their codomain being Rm, and we further assume that both of them are differentiable at a point A, which is an interior point of the set A. We know that the vector field A plus G from A to Rm is also differentiable at the point A, and further the derivative of A plus G at A is f dash A plus G dash A. Now, let f1 up to fm be the components of f and g1 up to gm be the components of g. Clearly, f1 up to fm and g1 up to gm all are scalar fields defined on the set A. Then the Jacobian matrices of A and G at the point A are given by the following: dfa, that is f dash A, equal to the m by n matrix whose first row is d1 f1a, d2 f1a up to dn f1a, second row d1 f2a, d2 f2a up to dn f2a, and the final row d1 fma, d2 fma, dn fma. Similar result for G also. Also, the Jacobian matrix of A plus G at that point A is given by d of A plus Ga, that is matrix A plus G dash A, equal to the m by n matrix whose first row goes as follows: d1 f1 plus g1a, d2 f1 plus g1a up to dn f1 plus g1a. The other rows come in a like manner. So, this equals with, in the first row we have d1 f1a plus d1 g1a, d2 f1a plus d2 g1a up to dn f1a plus dn g1a. And similarly, in every row we write down every element as sum of two things. So, finally, we have sum of two m by n matrices, the first one consisting those from F and second one consisting of the derivatives from G. That is, in the first matrix, the first row is d1 f1a, d2 f1a up to dn f1a, and in the second matrix, the first row is d1 g1a, d2 g1a up to dn g1a. So, we can write this as the first matrix dfa and the second matrix as dga. So, we have A plus G dash A, its matrix representation equals with matrix of F dash A plus matrix of G dash A. Now, we consider the Jacobian matrix of a constant scalar multiple of a differentiable vector field. Let A be a subset of Rn and F from A to Rm be a vector field which is differentiable at a point A, which is an interior point of the set A. Then for each fixed scalar C in R, the vector field Cf is also differentiable at the point A, and we have already proved that Cf dash A is nothing but C times F dash A. Now, let the components of F are F1, F2, Fm. So, clearly F1, F2, Fm are scalar fields defined on the set A. Then the Jacobian matrix of the vector field F at the point A is given by dfa equal to matrix F dash A equal to the m by n matrix whose first row is d1 f1a, d2 f1a up to dn f1a, In the second row, F1s will be replaced by F2s and so on. Also, the Jacobian matrix of the vector field CF at the point A is given by D CFA equal to matrix corresponding to CF dash A equal to the m by n matrix whose first row consists of D1 CF1A, D2 CF1A up to Dn CF1A. It is nothing but the row consisting of C D1 F1A, C D2 F1A up to C Dn F1A. So, we have an m by n matrix in which each of element consists C as the first term and C is a scalar. So, we take C outside. So, we have C multiplied by the m by n matrix whose first row is D1 F1A, D2 F1A up to Dn F1A. That is, we have C times the matrix DFA, that is C times the matrix corresponding to F dash A. Finally, we are going to discuss the chain rule for derivative for vector field in terms of the Jacobian matrices. Let F and G be vector fields such that the composition map H equal to F compose G is properly defined in some neighborhood of a point A. We assume that G is differentiable at the point A with total derivative G dash A and F is differentiable at the point B equal to G A with total derivative F dash B. Then the chain rule stipulates that H is differentiable at the point A and H dash A is the composition of two linear transformations F dash B composed G dash A. Now, we write down all the vector fields by means of their components. So, we write F equal to F1 up to Fm, G equal to starting from G1 up to Gn and H equal to H1 up to Hm. Then the Jacobian matrix of the vector field F at the point B is given by DFB equal to the matrix whose first row is D1 F1b, D2 F1b up to Dn F1b. In a similar manner, we have m many rows. And the Jacobian matrix of G at the point A is given by DGA equal to the matrix whose first row is D1 G1a, D2 G1a continued up to DP G1a and we have similar n rows. Finally, the Jacobian matrix of H at the point A is given by DHA whose first row is D1 H1a, D2 H1a up to DP H1a. The last row is the mth row which is D1 HMA, D2 HMA up to DP HMA. Since the composition of linear transformations corresponds to the multiplication of their matrices, we can express DHA equal to DFB matrix multiplication DGA, that is matrix H dash A equal to matrix F dash B post multiplied by matrix G dash A. So, we have written it here in the elaborate form and this gives the chain rule for the derivative of H equal to F compose G in terms of the Jacobian matrices. The above matrix equation is equivalent to the following set of MP scalar equations: djhia equal to summation k equal to 1 to n dkf by v djgka for I running from 1 to m and j from 1 to p, which represent the expressions for the partial derivatives of the component functions of the composite vector field H equal to F compose G in terms of the partial derivatives of the component functions of the vector fields F and G. From this result, we can deduce the chain rule for scalar fields also. Let F from Rn to R be a scalar field and G from Rp to Rn, that is G is a vector field. Then the composite map H equal to F compose G from Rp to R is a scalar field defined on Rp, and for this we get P equations in the chain rule. Those are djHa equal to summation k equal to 1 to n dkfb djgka for every j starting from 1 and ending at P. The Jacobian matrix djxyz of the vector field G at any point xyz in R3 is given by dgxyz equal to a 3 by 3 matrix given by del x x square, del y x square, del z x square and similar 2 rows, and finally we find this matrix equals with 3 by 3 matrix, first row 2x 0 0, second row 0 2 y 0, third row 0 0 2 z. Now for any xyz in R3, let us compute the Jacobian matrix dH xyz of the composite vector field H using chain rule. Then we have dH xyz equal to product of the matrices df gxyz and dg xyz. So putting their values, we find it is the 2 by 3 matrix, first row 2x y square z square, 2x square yz square, 2x square y square z, and second row 2x 2y 2z. Now we calculate it directly and try to find out the matrix representation of dH xyz, and we find that it is the same matrix. Thus, in this module, we discussed Jacobians of a vector field. We conclude here.